When I was 14, my dad's friends came and visited us because we moved a couple years ago. I knew they had a son around my age, but I didn't think anything of it because the last time I saw him he was so ugly. When they came over my house, this 6'1" fine-ass man walked into my house. We're going to call him Josh. That whole night there was so much sexual tension between us. Josh's family and my family were all sitting on my couch, but then our families left to go outside. When I tell you this man was so fine I could barely contain myself. Then me and Josh started talking and we found out that we have so much in common. We talked the whole night. His family didn't have a hotel room for that night, so they stayed at my house. At like 2:30 I Snapchatted him to come to my room because I wanted him so bad. Then when he came to my room we watched a movie and we were cuddling. When I tell you he smelled so good. Chill. Anyways, halfway through the movie he shut the computer and I was freaking out because I was like, am I about to hook up with this fine ass boy who I haven't seen in years? One time when I was like 6, me and my friend cut a hole in my window so she could sneak in. Then one day at night, I went through the hole, without telling anyone, and ended up falling asleep in the backyard. 'Cause I was too lazy to climb back in. The next day my parents couldn't find me, so they sent a whole search party, and the police showed up, and they went around the whole neighborhood looking for me, and they couldn't find me. Then my mom found me under the deck like 2 hours later with a tarp around me because I got cold. I was sleeping but they thought I died, so my mom started screaming and crying 'cause I looked like I got murdered, but the whole time I was just asleep. LOL. Fun times. Chili. What LMAO. Thank you for your submission.
A few weeks ago my family was sitting down for cake at my mom's birthday party and my mom started talking about how she hopes Trump wins the election. I am not the political type, but I know that orange crusty man isn't gonna get my vote. She then proceeded to talk about homosexuality and how it was wrong when I was explaining pansexuality to my older sister. I got so mad I had to leave before I outed my bisexual ass on the spot. When I got back she gaslit me about wanting to get on a higher dose of antidepressants, which my doctor recommended a few weeks later. When we were in the room during my appointment, this cute med school student came in to examine me, and while he was doing that my mom told the actual doctor I was faking everything and that's why she took me out of therapy. The med student looked sad and he kept reassuring me quietly when my eyes were watering.
I was 11 or 12 and it was Christmas and I was at a family dinner. I was on my period, so I had to go to the bathroom to change my pad. Once I was done, I realized that there was no garbage can in the bathroom and I was young and dumb, so I was embarrassed to go out and throw it away in the kitchen, so I had the good idea to throw it in the toilet. Spoiler alert, don't do that. And I flushed the toilet, but it didn't leave, so I had to pick it up and I rolled it in toilet paper and went out of the bathroom. When I went out, my aunt saw me and asked why I was being weird. I was hiding half of my body and the package behind a wall, and I never told her, but she obviously knew why I was being so weird. I ran to the kitchen and finally threw my pad out luckily. Now I'm not ashamed of. One time I was dating this guy for almost a year and things were pretty serious. One day we both had family parties on the same day, so he went to his and I went to mine. While I was there I was sitting at a table with my cousin when this guy walked in. I was like, he looks exactly like my boyfriend. Turns out we are third cousins and I have been sleeping with him for a whole year. Okay, so one time I was at school and me and my crush went to the bathroom at the same time, monkey covering eyes. And we were walking in the hall and I said hi and I guess he noticed I blushed because he started smiling too. Then he got kinda close and our hands touched and we held hands. Then I used the bathroom and he was waiting for me. Then he pulled me to the side and kissed me, smiling face with hearts. Monkey covering eyes. Monkey covering eyes. Monkey covering eyes. Monkey covering eyes. Anyways, we walked back to class and the dirty shitheads in my class were staring, but now we don't talk. My best friend and I are always laughing at the worst times, so one time in 6th grade we were in English class and telling our inside jokes to each other, laughing our asses off as usual. This time we looked around and saw people crying and the teacher was crying, so we tried to stop laughing, but seeing everyone cry was really funny. We found out our teacher was telling the class about her miscarriage and we had been laughing the entire time about some joke that doesn't even make sense. We felt so bad and still do to this day, but that teacher still loves us, so we're hoping she just thought we were crying really hard and not laughing over the fact that she had a miscarriage.
In high school I had a boyfriend. We'd been together for 2 years. Suddenly, my ex-friend from freshman year, let's call her Kat, started making moves on him. My boyfriend was super loyal up until one day he decided to break up with me out of the blue. The next week, I saw him making out with Kat. I was so pissed and hated the bitch for stealing my boyfriend. I wanted revenge on that bitch since we used to be close friends. I remembered her locker combination and went digging in there after school to see if I could find anything to expose her. I went for her diary. When I went through it, I found several pages with my boyfriend's name on it. Nail clippings, strands of brown hair, his fucking hair color, what the fuck? And fucking blood stains. This bitch did fucking witchcraft to take my man. I left the situation alone because I wasn't getting involved in no voodoo, no sir. That Dr. Facilier from The Princess and the Frog ass bitch, I am not your friend from the other side.
One time in 9th grade my music teacher told us he was in an a cappella group and told us the name. I then looked him up on YouTube and saw a video of him in women's lingerie. My stupid ass decided to show my best friend and we laughed about it for days. Soon we wanted to do the right thing and we told him that we found the video and he refused to take it down. Later the whole school knew about this man in women's lingerie messing around with his friends in college. Mostly because of my friend's blabbermouth, and he was just a terrible unreasonable teacher who made music appreciation my hardest class. Soon everyone was posting the pictures of him on Instagram and Snapchat. People were going up to him and making fun of him. A parent then found out and started posting the pictures to Facebook and exposing him to our whole town, demanding he would be fired. I then got called to the principal's where I showed the video to him. He was like face with wide open eyes and flushed cheeks. He then said there was going to be a meeting. The following day during our music class the principal gave us a talk about certain images circulating around the school while staring at me, making me very uncomfortable. The music teacher got in trouble and soon the videos were taken down, but I still have the screenshots. One time I was 10 years old and my mom told me to get up and clean my room. At that time I watched The Kissing Booth a month after it came out. I wanted to be like Elle, so I said, I told you to stop telling me what to do, and she got up, grabbed a belt, and smacked me with it. In my school we can't have our jackets zipped up, and like bitch I don't give a fuck about those dumbass rules, so I had zipped up my jacket anyways, and the assistant principal saw me and said take off your jacket and give it to me. Like bitch, who the fuck do you think you're, Oompa Loompa Jake from motherfucking State Farm? Bitch, you're Dr. Phil built body ass. King Kong. Chaing Chong. I'm not wrong. Song me a song. Small ding dong is fucking talking to like bitch, you're just mad because you're balding, so I told him that he's not gonna take the clothes off of my back. Like excuse me sir, do I look like your slave? Did you buy this jacket? No I don't fucking think so sir, fuck out of my face. Okay, so basically when I was 14 I worked at McDonald's, and one day this ugly Karen, sweaty musty rusty crusty ass bitch came up to me and ordered food. So as usual I took her order, but I realized she was staring at me weird the whole time. I was like, what the fuck are you staring at, ugly Karen? Then when her order got called out she saw me talking to a customer in Spanish. So she waited there for about 5 minutes and told me we're in America and to speak American. As much as I wanted to go off on this ugly ass bitch, I didn't want to get fired, so I calmly said please leave. She didn't listen and started yelling at me, so I got so mad that I grabbed the hot coffee and threw it at her. The look on her face was priceless. Then I told her to get the fuck out and she finally listened. I added, and American isn't a language. Yes, I did get fired, but I'd do it again. In the 4th grade I was playing with this kid at recess and he liked me a lot, and so he wanted to play the kissing game and I said yes. He kissed me and a teacher saw, so we went to the principal's office and he told the principal that he was gay. I didn't know what that meant, so I said that I was gay too. The principal was so confused and I looked at him like, bruh, what the hell does that mean? He kissed the principal deadass and he got okay, so story time. So when I was in 6th grade you could say I had a lot of friends, and one day this girl in 7th grade texted me and asked if I wanted to get a sugar daddy, and BC I wanted to be cool and hang out with the 7th grade so I can be cool, so we ended up making a group chat filled with people that wanted to also get sugar daddies, and we all had designated sugar daddy website because all of us were underage. We ended up catfishing a bunch of men into giving us money. Me and the 7th grader, let's call her Emma, even made a Venmo, Cash App, and even a PayPal, and because I was pretty good at math I was logging how much money comes in and out of the accounts, and we still catfish older men into giving us money, and me and Emma are best friends now. One time when I was 13 I was dating this boy, let's call him Donnie. I went to his house and he has a really big fat sister, let's call her Miley. I was sitting on the couch watching TikToks and he was laying on me, then all of the sudden a rat runs across the floor and he kicks it and says, oh look, I missed him. The rat ended up climbing on me and bit me in my happy cat face. I couldn't feel my happy cat face for weeks after that. Then his big fat sister came in the living room and asked why I was crying, and I said he bit my happy cat face. So she beat up Donnie, then sat on me. I couldn't breathe. I never went back over there after that crying cat. I was on a flight to Washington a few weeks ago and I tried my best. I've got a delicious story. So one time when I was 10 I was drinking my favorite flavor of Capri Sun. The cherry one. It tasted like actual chicken kitten. Religion, physician in prison, pigeon sheet, and I told my mom. She said to cut the top off and dump it in the sink, so I did, and I kid you not, a 4-inch long piece of fungus came out, not mold. fungus. I was taken to the hospital where my mom works for examination, and they said that if I had drank any more, I would have been horribly ill. The stupid company gave us a MF gift basket to keep quiet, like that would do anything but bleep. I wasn't gonna let your dirty ass poison other kids, so my mom posted it on Facebook and it went viral. Long story short, there are now 2 articles about my story, and we were the ones that made Capri Star have those clear bottoms in the pouches. I vowed to never drink Capri Moon again, and 5 years later, my family hasn't had a single one in the house since. Smirking cat face. Smirking cat face. Suck it craft face with rolling eyes. So one day I was learning how to play on monkey bars, and this girl at the playground was teaching me how to hang upside down from them, so she went on the monkey bars to show me how to do it, so I copied her and did it perfectly. So I told my grandma Nana, watch me. She turned her head and I was on them and fell off hard and broke my arm, and the girl just watched me fall like eye, mouth, eye, nail pole. Once when I was in 1st grade, this girl was crying in the field by herself. Me and my friends went over to see if she was okay. By the way, she was a crybaby. So we asked her what was wrong, and she said that she was fucking pregnant. We were in 1st grade. In my mind I was thinking, bitch, the fuck, you aren't pregnant. You're just a gorilla. But I asked her how she knew, and she said that her mom was also pregnant. So that meant that she was pregnant. I was confused as to why this dumb bitch was pregnant from her fucking mom. So now we are in 8th grade and she has had like 15 boyfriends. And then one got her pregnant. And she transferred schools because she didn't know who the dad was. Amen. Okay, so this story is kind of long and it's not really interesting, but oh well. Okay, so when I was like I think 8, I had this cousin who is a year older than me. So one day, he came over to my house for a sleepover and we were playing basketball and other stuff like that. Of course we got really smelly and dirty, so I went upstairs to take a shower while he was downstairs watching TV. I got out of the shower and went into my room to change, and I had a bunk, so he slept on the top bunk. When I took off my towel I heard the door handle jiggle, so I yelled, "I'm changing, go to another room." Even though this bubble gum dumb crusty ass bummity schlong bitch heard me, he still. Here's a story. So one day I was late to gym class cause I had a dentist appointment, so when I got to gym I showed the coach the excused absence, but she made me run 10 laps anyway, so on my like 3rd lap I tripped and hurt my foot and I was crying on the ground, and this bitch really came up to me and said stop being a baby and made me finish my laps, and after my foot hurt so bad I told my mom and she said to suck it up, but the next day it still hurt, so my mom took me to the hospital and it turns out I fractured my foot. So the next week I came to school with crutches, and on my way to class I saw my stupid ass gym teacher and she saw my crutches and took them away cause she said they were unnecessary like bitch. So I hobbled to the principal's office and told her what happened, and that bitch ass gym teacher got fired the next day. When I was 18 I got with a guy who was 28 and we would always get into it with no protection, and that wasn't because I wanted to, that was because every single time I asked him to wear protection he'd persuade me that we didn't need it and he would be careful. Then the times I put my foot down and told him we wasn't doing anything at all until he put one on, he would use one, then halfway through without me knowing take it off. This would happen so many times it then got to the point where I didn't bother asking him to use it because he would just complain and take it off. When he did things wrong I never spoke on it because he would make me feel like I'm immature because of the huge age gap. One time when I was at his house I seen messages between him and some other girl, and when I confronted him he told me it wasn't that deep, that they was only talking and he didn't so anything with her. After that I packed up my stuff and left his house and didn't speak to him again. A day or 2 later I took a pregnancy test and it came back positive.